The battle is the Lord's, so relax. Listen, the victory in today's world, that's 2023, 2024 we're heading into, is God's. Today I'm going to show you biblically that it's not about the state of the United States, currency, the strength of China, or even the moral decay of the United States and the West in general. In its parts, that's true, but in whole, the victory is and will be the Lord's. Welcome to Reason for Truth, everybody. I'm your host, Stevie Garofalo. This is Reason for Truth, where the truth comes first, reasons come last, but we're always and constantly learning, because when we stop learning, we stop teaching, or at least stop teaching well. Listen, the United States and Europe will be something different than it is in its current state in 20 years from now. That's always true of all nations, especially in today's modern age. But God does not change. We must yield to God's plans and pivot to stand for His truth in 2024, heading into the new year, and each year there forward, in order to leave our children and grandchildren a more biblically anchored world. My point is simple in that the victory is and will be the Lord's and not our own. We all know the story of David and Goliath, so let's read 1 Samuel 17, chapter 17, verses 46 to 47. That's our truth text for today, which makes clear that God is in control and that despite all of our modern weapons, the victory is of the Lord. It's not of ourselves. Starting in verse 46 says this day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you down and cut off your head. It's pretty strong. And I will give the dead bodies of the host of the Philistines this day to the birds of the air and to the wild beasts of earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. Verse 47 picks up and says, and that all this assembly may know that the Lord saves not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and He will give you into our hand. 1 Samuel 17, 46 to 47. That's little old, good-looking, ruddy David speaking to this gigantic 9-foot something, 10.5-foot Goliath monster. In 1 Samuel, David intended that his victory teach that the Lord, that's Yahweh, is the true God of the universe, and that He, that's Yahweh, delivers His people. Don't make fun of Him. Don't mock Him. It's a matter of time before God speaks and acts. This message by David is plain and simple. For David, his faith was unwavering. His confidence was unwavering. David intended his victory to do what? To demonstrate to all the earth that, number one, the God of Israel exists, and two, that He, the God of Israel, delivers His own against overwhelming odds. Did you hear that? Against overwhelming odds. David's words, the battle is the Lord's, puts this contest between David and Goliath into proper perspective. When Samuel wrote 1 Samuel going back to 930 BC and later. In closing, Goliath, like many rulers today, threatened to feed David to the vultures and the wild, the way we're, as Christians, are threatened today to be sent to the vultures, to the beasts. Verse 44. Most of us feel as though we too are about to be fed into the hands of some giant authority. But David's response was different than most of ours today. See, he battled in God's name. David's goal was the glory of God. In David's own words, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. Verse 46, that was his main focus. That was his point. David's miraculous victory over Goliath would point the nations to God and serve in an evangelistic purpose. David's purpose was simply also labeled to help God's people to see that the human weaponry alone, all the technology we have today, was not the means of deliverance, because the battle is the Lord's. Again, 47, verse 47. In the end, Goliath was not fighting against David. He was defying and fighting against God. Since the battle belonged to the Lord, He would give Goliath into David's hand. So why should we think any differently in our circumstances today if we simply muster the courage to stand up and trust the Lord? Think about that, simply put. Hey, appreciate you tuning in today, heading into 2024. These are the words we need to hear. We don't need to be really speaking out to the point of we're disrespectful to people, but we need to stand strong on the Word of God, share the Word of God with others. We need to win this battle from the inside out. Be sharing our faith to people different than us, maybe even sharing it with Hindus, Muslims, atheists, and the list goes on. And those, the most toughest of all, are those who think they're saved but really are not, just because they call themselves a Christian. That's what we want to do in 2024. If you want to get equipped to do that, go to equippedacademy.com. Sign up for the basics and the advanced courses. There's also some books that are going to help you do that. So God's blessings to you. Make sure you subscribe. Hey, one last thing. Heading into 2024, join my community, StephenGarofalo.com. That's where you're going to get some great articles, more in-depth teaching, and I'll see you over there. I'm your host, Stephen Garofalo, and this is your Reason for Truth for today.